Hello players, come on in, pants on the floor, inhibitions even lower. Welcome to the only tech news show that doubles as a cry for help and a violation of YouTube's community guidelines. Penis. See? Was that after 7 seconds? I hope so, otherwise I'm not getting monetized. I'm not getting monetized anyway. Tits. Okay, I am your tech jester, Buzz Stringer, and somehow still not banned. There's so many of you who have come from the last video, and that makes me a little bit nervous because what if you sub and this video isn't as great as the last video? I guess we'll have to find out. Today's show has everything. Billionaire getting spanked by the legal system, FBI director getting his selfies leaked by Iranian hackers, Epic Games firing people faster than a Fortnite player doing 90s, and Netflix raising prices again because apparently 325 million subscribers isn't enough to still make money and to keep the lights on. That's expensive lights. It must be more expensive than those lights in Amsterdam. Red or blue? Take your pick. I've got both. If you're young, you should close this tab and go and do your homework. And if you're not, you should probably close this tab and do your homework anyway, because we're not doing anything productive here. But I do look forward to all of your comments. And if you can't think of anything to write, then today's safe words are, sell me ads, daddy. You can use those. And hit like if you laughed. No snort does count still, and it's one of my favorites. Okay, let's start with the big one. Remember when Elon Musk, the world's richest divorced dad energy man, a man who makes decisions like a magic 8-ball filled with ketamine. Remember when he went on stage at New York Times event back in 2023 and told advertisers, the people who literally fund his X platform, to, and I quote, go fuck themselves?
You hope, don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No. Go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
Well, guess what? The advertisers did exactly that. They went and fucked themselves right over to every other platform that isn't a neo-Nazi adjacent dumpster fire. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, even Pinterest. Everyone got ad money except for Elon. And then Elon, of course, sued them for doing exactly the thing that he told them to do. Yeah, that's like telling your girlfriend to leave and then calling the police when she does. Look, officer, she just took all of her stuff, just like I asked. Help me feel not stupid, please. A federal judge in Texas, Jane Boyle, has dismissed X's lawsuit against the advertisers that stopped spending money on the platform. But she didn't just kind of, dismiss it. It was dismissed with prejudice, which in legal terms means that this case is so full of shit we're not even going to do the sequel. X, which is still a stupid name, much worse than Twitter, had sued the World Federation of Advertisers plus brands like Mars, CVS, Colgate, Palmolive, and others, claiming that they had basically formed an illegal boycott through GARM and damaged X's ad business. Now, GARM is the Global Alliance for Responsible Media. Yeah, that sounds like, the best place to start a coup. The court said that X failed to show antitrust injury, and the opinion flat out says that antitrust laws protect competition, not competitors sulking because their customers went elsewhere. Yeah, so the court's reasoning is beautiful and simple. Antitrust laws protect competition, not competitors. Companies choosing where to spend their advertising money is called, what is it called? It's called something that we use. The free market. That's it. Capitalism. I remembered. There's two main angles to this whole thing. Was this a conspiracy to help out a competitor? No, because X couldn't show that Pinterest or anyone else was behind a boycott. And were advertisers trying to eliminate competition? No, because GARM, the supposed ringleader of this nefarious plot, literally told companies in writing to connect with Twitter directly and to make their own decisions. That's when it was called something more sensible. That's the grand conspiracy. An organization telling people and companies to think for themselves. Somebody call Interpol. Hide the children. Write a polite email. That will solve it. This whole lawsuit has always had the vibe of a mob boss suing the restaurant because the chef stopped paying protection money. Your Honor, these companies engaged in a dangerous conspiracy known as common sense. Elon bought Twitter, renamed it X like a teenager renaming his gamer tag, and then he told advertisers to eat a bag of dicks, and then acted shocked when brand managers don't want their cereal mascot showing up to Nazi-adjacent sewage and non-consensual grok-generated porn. I look forward to your comments and pictures. Musk really acted like the market should work like one of his fanboys, full devotion and no standards. and willing to overlook the smell. I bet he does smell. But advertisers are not obligated to bankroll your ego while you turn the platform into 4chan with a debt problem. If your house party turns into a knife fight with crypto bros and men whose profile pictures are Roman statues, don't act stunned when the sponsors leave through the bathroom window. Oh, and as a little aside, Linda Yacine, that's how we're doing that name, I don't care if it's right, who was the CEO of X at the time, literally wore a necklace that said free speech while announcing the lawsuit. A necklace saying free speech while suing people for exercising theirs. I've seen less irony at an Alanis Morissette concert. Now, X can appeal to what's called the Fifth Circuit, and stranger things have happened there. The Fifth Circuit actually no, everything the Fifth Circuit does is strange. It's basically the Florida man of federal courts, but the fundamental problem still remains, the idea that advertisers owe you their money, and that not wanting your brand next to white supremacist content is a criminal conspiracy. Yeah, it was never a viable legal theory, and dismissed with prejudice, which is what I like to hear. So game over, Elon. The market told you to go fuck yourself right back. Karma's a bitch. With a gavel. Getting geo-restricted while you want to watch UK TV abroad is also a bitch, so NordVPN can make you appear as if you're in almost any other country and helps protect your privacy online. There is a huge discount if you sign up with the link below, and that really does help out the channel. No one's done it yet still, so I haven't been helped, but I'll keep doing this. Okay. Now, speaking of people who should have really invested better in cybersecurity instead of, I don't know, buying Americans' location data, FBI Director Kash Patel, remember him? The man buying your data from every app on your phone without a warrant? And the consistent look of a face of, I wish someone would just tell me what's going on. Yeah, do you have a picture of Kash Patel? There we go. His personal email got hacked by Iranian hackers, the head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The agency literally responsible for cybersecurity got his email cracked open like a cheap Easter egg by a group called the Handler Hack Team. I think that's right as well. I'm terrible with names. You'll learn that very quickly. And what treasures did they find inside the inbox of the nation's top law enforcement officer? Classified intelligence, nuclear secrets, the secret recipe for whatever KFC puts in their gravy. No, they found selfies of Kash Patel posing with large bottles of rum, making faces in the mirror and sniffing cigars like he's auditioning for the world's worst fragrance commercial. Oh dear, federal incompetence by Kash Patel. Because you're worth surveilling. Now, the FBI confirmed it and said that the information was historical in nature and involves no government information. That means it was just cringe selfie collection and some old travel receipts. So please, stop laughing at him. The emails date from 2010 to about 2022, and there's one from 2014 when he worked at the DOJ. Patel apparently forwarded something from his government email to his Gmail. Yeah, from government email, head of the FBI, to his Gmail. Sure, Kash, you carry on, mate. You forward your classified correspondence to the same inbox where you get Groupon vouchers for your Botox. I look forward to your comments. The hackers said they did it in retaliation after the DOJ seized their websites. Cybersecurity expert says the Iranians have probably been sitting on this data for a little while, waiting for the right moment, like a passive-aggressive ex, saving screenshots for a strategic deployment during an argument. That's not a great advert for national security, is it? It's like finding out the head of Durex has 8 accidental children. It's just the optics. You don't want the person in charge of the big, scary federal police machine getting their inbox folded open by hostile hackers like a cheap camping chair. It doesn't inspire confidence. It inspires the kind of laugh you do when the plane you're on starts making a new noise. Right, pivot to gaming, because the layoff meat grinder never takes a day off, and this week it's chewing through Epic Games. Tim Teeny Weeny Sweeney, CEO of Epic, the champion of the little guy against Apple, a man whose entire empire apparently rests on whether teenagers keep buying Fortnite skins, has sent a memo this week that says over 1,000 employees are getting the chop. 1,000 people. And the first line of the memo was, "I'm sorry we're here again." Again. He said again. Like this is a recurring booty call that keeps ending in disappointment. Sorry we're here again. I know last time I said was the last time, but I promise this layoff is different. They cut 830 people in 2023 and now another 1,000. That's nearly 2,000 people in 3 years. And the reason is a downturn in Fortnite engagement. Fortnite, the game which turned a generation of children into credit card criminals. The game that made $1 billion a year from selling Carlton dancing animations to 8-year-olds. The game that is essentially a money printer with a battle pass strapped to it. That game isn't making enough money anymore. Sweeney says they're spending significantly more than they're making. So let me translate that from corporate wank speak, is that we built our entire company on one game, and that game's slightly less popular because kids have discovered something called Outside, or more likely, another game. And instead of diversifying years ago, like anyone with a functioning brainstem would have suggested, we're now firing 1,000 people, while the C-level employees keep their stock options. Yeah, to give some credit, the severance is pretty decent, according to the articles that I read. It's 4 months minimum pay, 6 months healthcare, and accelerated stock options, which is more than most companies offer. Most gaming layoffs come with a cardboard box, a cold handshake, and a "we appreciate your contributions" email sent from an automated HR system named something dehumanizing like PeopleSync. So that's something, I suppose. Oh, and Epic did just raise the price of V-Bucks to help pay the bills. So they're firing 1,000 people and charging the remaining players more for a digital currency that doesn't exist. Yes, sorry your parents lost their jobs, little Timmy. But that'll be $7.99 for the new emote, and it's the one where your character dances on the grave of economic stability. And finally, because every episode of this show is just things cost more and everything is worse, the podcast, Netflix is raising prices again for the second time in just over a year, which is like being told it'll only hurt once and then getting slapped twice. So the new US pricing is the ad-supported tier goes up $1 to $8.99, standards with no ads and 2 screens goes up $2 to $19.99, and the premium one where you get 4K, 4 screens, and the privilege of not being advertised to is now $26.99 a month. $27 a month for a streaming service that you share with your mum and your mate who's been freeloading since 2019. And you can't kick him off because he's going through something. We're all going through something, Daniel. Netflix has 325 million subscribers. They're projecting over $50 billion in revenue this year and just pocketed $2.8 billion as a breakup fee from the Warner Brothers deal that didn't go through. Literally got paid almost $3 billion for not buying something. I want that energy. Imagine getting paid $3 billion just for saying, nah, we're good, we don't need it. They justified it by saying they deliver more value and need to reinvest in quality entertainment. Quality entertainment, this is the platform that gave us Is It Cake? A show where people guess if something is cake. And then cancelled the OA, Mindhunter, and every other show with more than 12 brain cells in its audience. The algorithm has basically replaced creative commissioning with a dartboard. What if we did Love is Blind, but they're underwater? Greenlight, $60 million. Yeah, remember when Netflix killed the DVD rental industry and we all cheered? Blockbuster, died and we all danced on its grave. Turns out Blockbuster was the last bouncer keeping the price gougers out. And now the club's run by psychopaths charging you per drink, per breath, per visit to the toilet. And if you don't pay extra, they'll make you watch an advert before you're allowed to take a piss. Anyway, I'm off to cancel something. Maybe Netflix. Maybe my remaining dignity. We'll see which has better customer retention. But my time is now up. If you made it this far, then wow, you are incredible. Really. Pop the word finisher in your comment and then I'll know that you really made it to the end. I'm surprised I got to the end. Like, subscribe, and do whatever YouTube needs you to do so I can afford not to have a real job. Okay, stay sexy and be excellent to each other. I was recently arrested for using too many commas. The judge said it was going to be a long sentence. Bye! We are ready to go. We are ready for the party. Ready to make a YouTube video. Yeah, I could be on Fraggle Rock. And another one done, and another one done. Another video's done.